ever said making YouTube videos was easy? It's definitely not me, as you can just tell with that last clip. Anyway, sorry guys, no intro and no cold start on this week's video. Just straight into the meat of things and out on the road in the Megane. I think you'll get the impression that I quite like this one. So initial impressions, driving position is fantastic. You sit nice and low. I don't know about you guys, but I literally can tell within the first 5 seconds if I'm going to get on with a car, purely based on the seating position. We've got an E46 M3 in at the minute, and I forgot just how high up you sit in those cars. The waistline literally feels like it's at your elbow, but I am delighted to report we are sitting low. The gear, I watched a few videos last night just to give myself a wee bit of a head start, and yeah, loads of people mentioned about the gear knob, and that would be going in the bin. It's big, it's plasticky, it's quite awkward in the hand. The shift itself it's alright. It's not as good as the old car. The old car was really precise, really neat going from gear to gear. This is definitely a bit of a step down. Steering wheel, the thickness of it's fine, but I would have expected the Alcantara to be where your hands are. That being said, it'll make the Alcantara last longer, because generally speaking, these things, unless they're kept clean regularly, end up turning into a bit of a gooey mess. So I suppose that's a bit of a bonus. The leather will be a bit more hard wearing. Got a nice centre. We've got a nice TFT display, a bit like the Porsche 992. We've got a mixture of analog and TFT display, with the analog clocks being the fuel gauge and the coolant temperature, and we've got a configurable TFT display. So the car's in comfort at the minute, so we've just got a rev counter displaying 170 miles per hour, and we've got no rev counter. Right, okay, that's interesting. You can probably see me moving about in the cabin already. Now this car is lowered, so I dare say that's probably going to make this car stiffer. In fact, it will make it stiffer than a standard car. And from what I read on, or what I viewed online last night, this being the Cup chassis car, they are already pretty stiff. So I think this is going to be something of a bone shaker, unless we're on a particularly perfect road. Be interesting to see once we get a wee bit further along. Initial inputs at the steering result in immediate reaction from the front end. Really flat as well. I mean, it feels, the way I would describe it is, it feels like we've got loads of camber and a big fat tyre, and pretty much that's what we've got. I didn't actually clock to see what section and tyre is on the front, but it certainly looks like it's a 235 as a minimum. Just winding up the turbo there a wee bit, we can hear the intake just beginning to wake up. Just gently sucking its air in there, but mindful that the car's still quite cold, so we'll give it another wee mile or so before we start giving it the beans. Come on, Mr. Arona. But yeah, so far initial impressions are good. These seats, Alcantara covered because we've got the Alcantara pack. Bolsters, I mean, they almost feel like they're hugging you in here. It's really good. So we're going to be up to the National just shortly, and we may as well put it into the right setting. So let's get into race. Oh jeez, we're quite looking forward to this actually. So we've now got a centre speedo and a big font, and a rather bizarre looking rev display that starts from the inside. Sorry, starts from the outside, working its way to the inside, so it looks like a shift light. Put into races, automatically turn the DSC off, so the ESC off, and the traction. That's awful kind of it. It's a wee bit dry, well, it's a wee bit damp today, but conditions aren't horrendous. So let's get it down in a second and give it a wee speed test, see how we go on. I am mindful that this car isn't mine, so Andy, don't worry, I will be as gentle as I can. There we go. That sounds fantastic. I wasn't sure, I'll be honest. I wasn't sure with the cold start. I thought, just another rather ordinary sounding 4-pot. And then when I was watching videos back on YouTube last night, I wasn't sure if there was engine fakery coming in through the speakers, but no, this is all engine. I mean, that was a 5th gear pull. It is worth mentioning this car is mapped, but Andy reckons it's about 340 horsepower. Power delivery was really nice. Come on, dead strong. Didn't get a chance to rev it fully out, but it held it really nicely. In fact, I can't actually tell you what RPM we're doing because the rev counter is now just dashes, which I'm not into that at all. That's a strange move. You would think when we put the car into race or sport we would get a nice big centre rev counter. Instead we've got like dashes going in towards a wee gear selector. But however, once you're driving properly and you get tuned in with the car, you don't really need to look at the rev counter or the speed because you're focused on the task at hand, which is driving and looking at the road ahead. This bit is pretty lumpy and you can really feel it in the car. Frenchies of old have always been kind of, lost points for the interior fit and finish, and I have to say this is a beautiful cabin, really nice. Sorry, I'll dial that back. It's a very nice cabin. Don't like the big flat bits of plastic. They could have made that a little bit better, but I think the door cards are really cool. We've got interior ambient lighting, fake carbon garnishes here and there, but I think overall it's really nice. Big improvement on the old car that was like super basic inside. Really better. A couple of wee tiny controls for the hi-fi, showing my age there, for the radio, and even like the RS monitor button was hidden, and you had a wee kind of poppy up screen on top of the dash, which is in general pretty rubbish. But in this we've got a kind of portrait style infotainment system that all works really nice. Touchscreen, nice animation and stuff about it as well. We've got the RS monitor, so if we launch that, we've got information coming up such as oil temperature, which is really handy, much more interesting, much more important than coolant. And then we've got our speed, power, throttle input, brake input, engine RPM down here, not in the dash where it should be, and torque, which is not really that important. So we're just about to turn off onto the nice wee tight twisty section, and I think this car is going to be incredible on it. Andy would tell me that the Cup car comes with a kind of composite disc. Looking at it this morning, it's a very similar oh, wow. Very similar disc setup to like what you would see in like a Golf Club Sport S. It almost looks floating. I think that's to separate the steel from the the steel from the aluminium. Anyway, I will stop talking about brake discs and start driving this car. See, when you turn in, it feels like it's rotating on its axis. Wow. So up until now, my favourite hot hatch it's got to be an FK8. I think the FK8 is just absolutely immense, but already the way this car changes direction is literally on another level, and it's damp. Actually, we got a wee bit of rain coming. We're on a PS5 tyre on the front, but that change of direction was, I wasn't prepared for that. Rear wheel steer is something that used to be on the old Preludes. Do you remember them? But I think it was really more just to aid lane change in the motorway and park in a small parking space, because it used to shorten the turning circle. And then on the later, more performance orientated systems like 992 GT3. In fact, I think it was the 991 GT3 as well. It was more for turning and performance, because essentially what it does is it gives the car a dynamic wheelbase. So in certain situations it gives the car a shorter wheelbase so that it turns in better. And then when you're up to speed, it gives the car essentially a slightly longer wheelbase dynamically, which makes the car more stable. I'm just letting a few of these cars up ahead get further away so that we can get back to giving it the beans. Right, let's go. Wee flat spot just in the mid-range there. Yeah, and again, and you need to get that map checked, my humble opinion. Oh, brake pedal takes a wee bit of a shove, but it might well have track day pads in it that take a wee bit of heat before they start working to their optimal level. We're beginning to pop nicely on the overrun, nothing too ostentatious, just a nice satisfying level of pop. Not hearing too much turbo through the front end, just the moving of air in through the air intake. That, wow, honestly, Renault Sports have always had an amazing front end. Even the cars I've driven without the diff still have an amazing front end, but this is on another level. It really is. And I know that a few of the reviews that I read said that they preferred the old shape car. I've not even done 10 miles in this, and I think this is on a completely different page in terms of handling, and also it looks absolutely wicked. We've got 5 doors, which means it keeps the good lady happy if you're trying to sneak the hot hatch into the sort of family dynamic. Yeah, okay, let's go again. You could have some serious fun in this car. A bit of lag, but lag's good. You just need to change your driving a wee bit different, so if you get into a corner, you just get on the juice a wee bit earlier than you'd expect, just to get the power in, get the diff working. Yeah, there's like no unwanted noises in here. All we're getting is nice whooshy noises from the front, bit of wastegate chat there as well, and let's go beside this fan. Beautiful exhaust noise through the back. The faster you go, the smoother it gets. Nice turn in on the brakes here as well. I keep making these face noises, I'm sorry guys, I really am, but this is a spectacular car, and there is absolutely no... So we'll not be going that way. Sorry guys, we've just come up to a big massive flood, so I'm going to let the guy in the van tackle it and see how he gets on. Yeah, I'm not brave enough for that. Beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. No. This is I work for James Glenn. I'm just doing a car review of it. But no, I've always liked the Meganes, but I've never had a proper go in one of the newer ones. No, it's manual, but it's got rear wheel steer and all that. Aye. Aye, no, definitely. Well, if you're looking for a hot hatch, I'd definitely get one of these. Aye. Right guys, take it easy. Cheers. So, back up the way in which we came. Certainly impressed the guys in the van with a nice exhaust note on the overtake. Glad guys were alright with that. Yeah, I would have one of these on a heartbeat. I always said I would have one at some point. We had a Megane Cup S in this colour, in fact, the old shape, and I absolutely adored it. But I prefer this. I really do. That engine is super sweet, like really, really nice. Found that the older cars, the 2 litre, tended to have like a bit of a farty sort of, not really inspiring engine note off it. This does have an inspiring engine note, and you want to hear it all of the time. But it just feels like it could go on like this all day, all day. You would get bored before the car would give up. Yeah, what a car. Andy, thank you very, very much for giving us, giving me the chance to take this out and road test it, because there's not that many of them. And that's another thing that's nice about the Megane RS. You're not going to pass many on the road, that's for sure. Let's work our way back up this fairly steep incline. I don't know about you guys, I prefer going uphill rather than down. Oh, indicators flashing there. Yeah, this, you really feel the car's benefiting from the rear wheel steer. The turn-in, I keep on going on about the turn-in, but the turn-in is just, you need to experience it to believe it, it's that good. Even for a map car, the partial throttle behaviour is really good. That wee kind of slight hesitation earlier on is gone. I'm not quite sure what that was. This is a seriously exciting car to drive. Seriously exciting. Yes, so this has definitely now won the crown for me of the best hot hatch I've driven. The FK8 Honda Civic Type-R is an absolute mega thing to drive, but I prefer the look to this. I really do. I think it's one of the best looking hot hatches that you can buy. And this one being lowered, get the spacers on, it's got the bigger wheels, which, as far as I can feel just now, is riding on very, very well. A few of the guys that have road tested, they say that they ride better on an 18-inch tyre, but I think it rides great, even on the 19, and it fills the arch better. Yeah, I don't think there's anything about how this car drives that would change, and that says a lot. So, barring a knob upgrade, there is nothing I would change about this. It is absolutely phenomenal. What a package. Initially I thought I wasn't going to go on the steering wheel because I thought it felt a bit big and clunky. You're too busy enjoying the rest of the car to even care about it. The seats are dead comfortable, they hold you in really well. The seating position is exactly where you want it. You know, you're not getting in the car and immediately looking to put the seat down, because it's down as low as I like it anyway, and I usually like a seat nice and low. It's perfect. So anyway guys, I think you can maybe get an idea that I like this car. And if you're in the market for a hot hatch, you've got to go and drive one of these and see what you think. And remember, a Renault Sport is a completely different car to just a regular Renault. The lengths that they go to upgrade and change and enhance these things is you've got to read into it to believe it. Even the change how shorter the throw is, the seating position, all the suspension, and on this one even the body panels. So there you go guys. That is my sum up of the Megane RS 280. It is an astoundingly good hot hatch, and Andy, thank you very much for lending me. I've been as gentle as I can, and guys, if you haven't already, if you could subscribe to the channel, I would really appreciate it. Thank you very much for making it to the end of another Jimmy Glenn road test, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers guys, thanks.